Right, so at this point we're ready to put the end pieces on our pegboard assembly, and we're going to create those ends. Actually, we're just going to create one end, but we're going to do that right within the pegboard assembly. We're not going to go out and create a separate part file. So the way we're going to do that is by choosing the create option, and we're just going to call this end, and we want to make sure that we are putting the new component that we're making, which by the way will be a standard.ipt part file within the assembly file. We want to make sure we put that in our pegboard toy folder that we should have created inside of our inventor folder earlier. If for whatever reason you skipped that step at the very beginning of this process and you did not create a pegboard toy folder, you just want to make sure this end part is saved where all of your other pegboard parts are saved, which should be in your inventor folder at least. So mine is going to go into pegboard toy folder, so I'm going to click OK. And I want to create this end right here. I'm going to sketch on this front of the pegboard. So I'm going to click right there. Notice that my assembly kind of goes gray, and then if you see over here in the feature tree, it's all grayed out except for this new end part that I'm working on. So I'm going to add a sketch plane right on this front surface here. So start 2D sketch, and then I'm going to select the front of the pegboard. And because I'm adding adding a sketch to an existing object, I need to project geometry. Click on that pegboard, and then I'm going to use the rectangle tool. I'm actually going to draw two separate rectangles. So I'm going to click up here, drag down, make the first one. Notice that my rectangle overlaps the end of my pegboard here. So one there. And then my second rectangle, I'm going to start right in the upper right hand corner of my pegboard. So I'm going to start it there. I'm going to end it where this line and the bottom of my pegboard intersect. And so you'll notice that it outlines the end of it in purple. Now I'm going to use the trim tool to delete this portion of the line off. So you notice that it goes dotted when I hover over it. So I'm going to click and click again, and it deletes the line but leaves the rest of the rectangle. And now I'm ready to add some dimensions. And the width of this rectangle is going to be 0.75. The height above the pegboard is going to be 1.5. Below down here is going to be 2.5. From this edge, so I'm going to click there, to the end of the pegboard, click there, it's going to be 0.375. Same thing here, so I'm going to click on this edge, click on the end. That also should be 0.375. And now this is pretty well constrained, so I'm going to hit Finish Sketch and Extrude. I'm going to click right inside this new profile that I made, but I want to flip it back and extrude it along the end of the pegboard. That pegboard is 3 inches deep, so that's how long this extrusion should be also. Click OK. So there is our new part that's showing up there, but we still need to get the rest of the assembly to show up in this solid gray. So I'm going to hit Return up here. And now you'll notice that I have a work plane showing up here in orange and yellow. So that work plane is right here. I'm going to right click on it, uncheck visibility so it goes away. And because this was already called pegboard assembly, it's already been saved once. All I have to do at this point is just hit the save button. We don't want to save as again. We don't want to give it a new name such as pegboard with end. We don't want any of that. We just want to update it with the same name. And do we want to save changes in all of its dependents? Yes, we do. So I'm going to click OK. And so now this has been saved. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how we're going to use this part file that we just created to go ahead and attach it on the other end too, so that we don't have to draw it and extrude it all over again.